Good morning. It's been a while since I have filmed anything. It has been, well, we've just been busy getting Peter back from camp, repacking, getting him and Maria off to camp. And anyway, here is what I have going. I have some beef cube steak. When we got our beef order, the butcher calls and they say, you know, what kinds of cuts. They basically walk you through all these different cuts, asking what you want. And this year, one of the options was cube steak, and so I thought I'd go with it. I think this is probably out of round steak, a little bit tougher cut. So this is going to end up going in the crock pot here. I'm basically just going to make kind of like a steak and gravy in the crock pot. I got a couple of eggs here whisked up, and then I have flour. So in here I put all kinds of things. I put a lot of pepper. I put a garlic pepper seasoning. I put a little bit of Mrs. Dash. I put a little paprika. What else did I put in here? I think that's about it. And I have a tray over here. So I'm going to quick fry these. I'm going to do it out on the Blackstone. I'm going to just dip it in the egg, let that drain off, and press it in the flour mixture. I'm going to get these all prepped and then go right out to the Blackstone and quick fry them all. I did it on the Blackstone last time when I did a bunch of pork chops like this. And then I was making some freezer meals that would then end up getting cooked in the oven for a while. But it was so nice to save kind of that smokiness. Keep the house from getting too smoky. And today it's just good to keep the heat outside because, again, well, it's 80 right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and it's gonna get hot. It's supposed to get to 90 today. Cube steak just means that they ran it through a tenderizer. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Maybe you can see it on here. They ran it through like a little, well, a tenderizer. It just kind of like adds a bunch of cuts to the meat. I'm hoping to be able to have this for lunch today. I know it's 8 right now, but I am hoping that I'll be able to get this in and cooked to nice and tender by noon. Can I do that? Probably if I put my crock pot on high, that will help. Alright, so I didn't have my camera on. With the sun angle, sometimes it's hard for me to see the little red dot that shows that it's actually recording. I just put the meat right back onto the pan here because I'm going to be putting it into the crock pot. It's going to be cooking completely, so I didn't need a clean platter to bring it back in. I had already set my crock pot onto high, so that took me about 15 minutes to do this part because I set the crock pot on high and actually only 14 minutes. I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on cleaning the Blackstone. I haven't done that in a while. Oh, I did put a little water in here. Did I say that too? Just a little water, like maybe 3/4 of a cup. But anyway, what I do for cleaning the Blackstone, and I thought I had my camera running, but I just take out some water. Well, first what I do is I scrape with a scraper like this with the burners still turned on. I scrape everything back to the little spot where you scrape it all into the little grease trap. And then once I have everything scraped off, then with it still turned on, I put the water down, and that you know, it sizzles up and everything, and I can just kind of like scrape the surface, and I scrape that all around and kind of loosen anything that needs to be loosened, and then I scrape that into the grease trap. And then at that point, what I do is I turn all the burners off. I ball up a paper towel at the end here, and I just push this all around, soaking up, and that paper towel soaks up any of the water or little bits of leftover grease that I couldn't quite get scraped, you know, pushed into the grease trap with the big spatula here. And then what I do is I take my oil and I just put down a good squirt of oil, and that's what you see I'm doing right now here, because I realized the camera was not on, and then I quick turned it on, and you can see that I'm just using a clean paper towel and spreading the oil all over the top. If you don't do that, it's gonna rust. And it doesn't take long to rust either. So just be sure to always put a good layer of oil down. You know, not so much that it's swimming around. If you do put too much down, then the next time you use it, you're gonna wanna kind of ball up some paper towel on the end here before you even turn it on, and soak up any of that oil if you realize that you put too much on. Otherwise, it's like the oil almost kind of turns black. And if you're gonna make something like chicken or shrimp or whatever, you just kind of get this, it just doesn't look as appetizing. So anyway, there we go. I probably didn't need this big crock pot. I could have used my smaller one, but it's in there now, so that's how it's gonna be. All right, let's get these dishes washed up and then figure out, I know it's hot, but I know, I'm gonna make cornflake clusters. Well, first I'm gonna go and get myself completely ready and take care of the chickens. Then I'm gonna come back and make cornflake clusters. I bought a box of cornflakes, and the other day Warren was gonna have a bowl of cereal, like just as an evening snack. And he's like, oh, there's no cereal. I was like, really? Aren't there cornflakes? He's like, oh, I'm saving those so that you can make cornflake clusters. I was like, I don't need the whole box. He's like, that's okay. He was not going to open that box until I made cornflake clusters. So I was like, okay, point taken. I need to make some cornflake clusters here today. So that's what we're going to do. But dishes, get myself ready, because I did a workout this morning. It was Body Fit by Amy, and it was a sweaty one. We got another duck egg today. So far, it's been one every single day, except one day, just yesterday. Yesterday was the only day that we did not get a duck egg. We were at a cranberry farm anniversary party on Saturday, and the flowers that they had on the tables, I mean, some of them appeared to be from like what you would think of as a traditional cut flower farm style flowers, but they also had like a bunch of geraniums tucked in and things. And I get so caught up in like playing with my flowers and everything right outside, I so often forget to bring them in and just enjoy them. So I bought this at Goodwill back in the winter, and I'm gonna see. I don't have any flower foam. That would really work great, but I don't have that. So I'm gonna just try to tuck these in and see if it'll work. I was thinking if I had some of these bigger ones, they might help keep them in. Okay. I wonder if I wired them together. I really want to use this. I think I'm going to need a lot more. Well, what do we think? It looks like it needs something. It needs some greenery kind of falling over the edges. That's what it needs. Let me go see what I can find. Found a couple more things. I felt like I needed another yellow tucked in there. I got another one of these little verbenas, a light pink. I thought that would kind of set that off over in that area. Oh boy, this is getting... And then a couple, I got some sedum, just as a little piece of greenery to tuck in there. And a couple of yard weeds. Look at how that is. Another yard weed. I feel like I could use another one of those yard weeds, but you know what? I'm gonna call it good. It's time to make those cornflake clusters. I like this side. I love how this light pink really sets off with the red, because the dark red and the darker pink, they almost kind of just blend all together, and then this one too. All right, it's time to quit fiddling with that, and let's get these eggs cleaned up. Let's make the cornflake clusters. So I'm just going to grease my bowl here. We will do you just have to check if it's 5 or 6 cups. 5 cups. I always forget that. 5. Then we'll do a cup of peanuts, cocktail peanuts, work the best. I'll bring my kettle over here. We're going to do 1 cup of white sugar, and I'm going to try to do a cup of corn syrup. As you can see, I'm pretty low. We're going to just let that kind of sit upside down. We're going to do the same with this. I would normally just do 1 full cup of light corn syrup. I have some dark as well, so it will be just fine. We do need to let this drip for a while. All right, well, this is a bit of a bummer. I only have a 1/2 cup. I see a little bit more drained here, so I'm gonna, but this is a real bummer, you guys. All right, we're gonna go for it. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm gonna bring this to a rolling boil. All right, we're gonna measure out a cup of peanut butter. Okay, rolling boil. Whoops, peanut butter. We're going to stir until this is well combined. It's definitely thicker than it normally would be. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, this is definitely thicker. All right, if you run into the same situation as me where you don't have enough corn syrup, leave out some of the cornflakes, because, yeah, this is not working at all. It's just not runny enough. All right, I have to make some adjustments. I'm going to have to put it into a pan because there's no way these are going to stay as clusters. We're going to try to pack it in here and see if that works. We're going to call it good. And then we're going to cut them into like squares and probably just have to serve them in a bowl. I'm really bummed. Really bummed. Typically, I can kind of make something work with when I'm like missing an ingredient or something like that. I think this is probably one of the worst situations that I've gotten myself into when it comes to not having the exact ingredients that I need. This turned out so tender and flavorful, and then with those instant mashed potatoes and some green beans, this is just like a pure comfort meal.